Thank you so much for joining me today on our Whale Past Projects tour. For the past few weeks, I've really focused on Whale's current projects, and today I'm going to take a step back and talk about some of Whale's history and the projects we worked on in the past. And Whale's been around for 58 years. We've restored over 70 historic projects, so we have a really extensive history, and I'm happy to share that with you today. So first up, I just want to talk a little about how Whale was founded. So Whale was founded in 1962 in reaction to urban renewal, or urban removal as some people like to call it. And what urban renewal was, essentially it was clearing historic neighborhoods for new infrastructure and new highways. And a group of men associated with the Whaling Museum heard about what was happening, and they didn't want the New Bedford's history to be taken away, especially with downtown, these historic buildings being demolished. They knew that these buildings had such beautiful stories and histories, and so they came together, they advocated for these buildings, and in doing so created Whale. And today, Whale is the only historic restoration nonprofit in the country that is also a community development corporation. So we've really evolved over the years. We first started off with just saving buildings, and now today we do so much more than that. We really work with the community and find a new reuse and new purpose for the buildings that really benefit the community. So right now I am across the street from Route 18. And Whale was part of the Route 18 redesign plan. It was an extension that happened in the 1990s. And what this plan did was, it was supposed to calm traffic, create safer crosswalks, and just create new connections, especially create connections from downtown to the working waterfront. So right now I am on Center Street, and Center Street is one of the most iconic streets in New Bedford. It's very much photographed. You can see the Whaling Museum up above, and Whale actually saved quite a few buildings on this street. First up we have this building that was saved by Whale, and you know that the building was saved by Whale because there's a plaque. And there's 3 buildings on this street that have plaques. So when you walk around New Bedford, not every single street, every single building has a plaque, but there are quite a few that indicate Whale saved those buildings. Here's another one, the Henry Beadle Street house. And right across the street, we have another building that Whale saved. And just a little fun fact, this view on Center Street is actually Whale's logo, which is kind of a fun little fact. So now we're gonna head up. Our first real stop on this tour is the Rodman Candleworks factory, and it's gonna be coming up on our right. So the Rodman Candleworks factory was constructed in 1810, and it was damaged by a fire in the late 1960s. It was abandoned, scheduled for demolition, but Whale stepped in, restored it, and saved it from being demolished. And it reopened in 1979 for a commercial reuse. I personally love the color. I think this is just a beautiful historic building. And this building has a plaque on it as well. So interestingly enough, this building recently had 2 new renovations done to it. by Studio to Sustain. And Studio to Sustain is a local green, sustainable architectural practice founded and run by Catherine Duff. Catherine Duff is on our board, and she has worked on a lot of our projects. And she did 2 renovations for this building, and the second renovation was for Bristol County Savings Bank. And Bristol County Savings Bank is one of our primary partners and supporters, so really shows the full circle of the community connections in New Bedford. So now we are going to head up William Street. So there is the New Bedford Whaling Museum. This is the perfect day for a tour because it's not too windy and it's absolutely beautiful out. So I'm so glad the weather held up. There's the Whaling Museum. There is the Seamen's Bethel and Mariners home over there behind those trees. So first up on William Street, we have the Corson Block building. And this is actually 2 buildings connected to one another. The first building was built in 1875, and the second building was built in 1884. And in 1997, there was a fire that happened that damaged the roof, that damaged the interior, and Whale purchased it, stabilized it, and restored the roof and exterior. But we didn't have the resources and funds that we do today to be able to do such an extensive renovation. So we weren't able to do a full restoration. But in 2004, we gave it to the National Park Service, and then the restoration was completed in 2008. And shops and offices are housed there today. And next up on our tour is the old bank, coming up on our right. So this is the old bank, constructed in 1853, and today it is the National Parks Visitor Center. Sorry, there's a dump truck a little loud over there. So in anticipation to the formation of the New Bedford Whaling National Historical Park, Fleet Bank donated the building to Whale in 1995. And then Whale donated it to the National Park Service for reuse as a visitor center in 2000. And New Bedford becoming a national, the Whaling National Historical Park was a really big triumph. It took a lot of people, a lot of years, and to now be able to say we're a Whaling National Historical Park is amazing. And it's very nice that this is a visitor center to talk about how amazing that triumph is. So right across the street, we have the Andrew Robeson house, built in 1821. So I think the restoration of this project is quite amazing. So this building is a 55-ton brick stone mansion. And it was going to be demolished, but Whale rescued it. And we rescued it during the blizzard of 1978. And when you hear of the blizzard of 1978, you know how much snow we got that year. And we moved it from right over here, this lot over here, which is now parking and has beautiful artwork in it. So we didn't move it that far. It's still on William Street, but because of how much snow we got during the blizzard of '78, it actually was stuck in the middle of William Street for an entire month. But once the snow melted, we were able to finish moving it, and now today it is privately owned. So I love looking at this beautiful artwork. So I hope you enjoyed this tour, just showing a little bit about the past projects of Whale. Hope you learned a little bit more about the history of Whale and the importance of why Whale was created and founded. And next week I am giving a tour of the Mariners' Home in Seaman's Bethel. And Whale actually has its offices in there as well. So I'm excited to show you that next week. Thank you.